Minorikawa stood on the sidewalk, weighing his options. Chiaki's phone call had thrown him for a loop. I expected her to be anxious about doing interviews, but wow, she was a real basket case. Still, that didn't change the fact that he had a schedule of his own to keep. The surveillance camera story had to be his top priority. Chiaki would just have to find some way to fumble through things on her end. He headed on down Doganzaka, scanning his surroundings as he went. There were cameras set up on streetlights all over the place. There were so many it was hard to believe he'd never noticed them before. I need to double check something. Because the last time I did this, I had a robot voice. Okay, I'm good. One over there, another just over here. Electronic eyes peering down on passerby from high above where they were tougher to spot. Just how were the people who came to Shibuya reacting to the situation? Hey, you there! Minorikawa called out to a man riding by on a bicycle. Hey, you! Stop! What is up with this guy? The man brought his bike to sudden stop. Huh? What's the matter? He asked. Hi, the name's Minorikawa. I'm a freelance writer. Okay. I'm just doing interviews for a magazine and I'd like to talk to you. A magazine? Which one? 4-Star General Gossip? Minorikawa did his best to sound proud. Oh, well, I'm actually in a bit of a hurry here. Minorikawa soldiered on. See that? He pointed at one of the nearby surveillance cameras. What? The man asked. The blimp? A massive blimp was indeed drifting slowly overhead. A type of aircraft that floats using the lift provided by an enormous envelope filled with lighter than air gas. This envelope, the balloon, is often used for corporate advertising. This particular blimp has been twittering about the skies above Shibuya since last night. Wow. No, the camera. The camera watched them both in uncaring silence. Oh, that. What about it? What do you mean, what about it? Those cameras have been installed all throughout Shibuya. They're taking in anything and everything, privacy be damned. Shocked pallor came to the man's face. Oh, really? He muttered uneasily to himself. I guess I should be careful next time I go picking stuff up. Hey, what are you talking about? Minorikawa asked. Oh, nothing, just stuff. Would have dodged the question entirely. Anyhow, I think there are some good things about the cameras too, the man said hurriedly. Oh, Minorikawa asked, such as? Well, I mean, they must have helped catch some crooks, right? Yeah, I think you're right about that. Oh, I am? The man looked shocked to have his own statement confirmed. Are you hiding something from me? Huh? No, nothing in particular. The man shook his head vehemently. Nothing at all, really? Oh, whatever, Minorikawa said. In any case, even if the cameras are helping in arresting criminals, there are some places where people just don't want to be watched. What? For instance, how would you like if someone set up a security camera inside your home? What do you mean? I mean, a burglar might try to get into your home. If you had a security camera, you could be alerted right away. Isn't that kind of an extreme argument? Nope! You're the one making the extreme argument here. What? The man stared, bewildered. You're saying it's okay for folks to film people around town as such as they might like, but not to take a look inside people's houses? Yeah, I guess I am, the man mumbled. Minorikawa snorted. You don't think too deeply about things, do you? He mocked. The man huffed in indignation. I don't see the problem, he said. I mean, it's a normal enough opinion to want to bring down crime but also protect privacy. Oh yeah, so? So if they're just going to set up cameras around town, I'm okay with that. Minorikawa grinned inwardly. You're being more naive, he said. Way too naive. Naive about what? By now the man was getting worked up. Once you start letting people watch you some of the time, you'll eventually let them do it more and more. That's how the world works. A simple change in camera angle is all it'll take to steal the last traces of your privacy away. That's kind of funny coming from you. Doesn't 4-Star General Gossip get all his scuttlebutt by invading the privacy of others? Since when are you people concerned with personal privacy? Meaning what exactly, Minorikawa asked. You know damn well what I mean. Have you no shame? I've got nothing to be ashamed about, Minorikawa explained. If some celebrity scandal breaks, I'll write it up in the form of a top-class socially conscious expose. Master Minorikawa, steal equality. The man rolled his eyes. Yeah, I agree with this guy. Please, as if anyone's ever heard of that. Your everyday freelance reporter would say something about how security films have no right to use cameras to disrupt personal privacy. But not me. Oh no! I'm the only guy who would write a first-class piece on the subject. And you want to know why? The man's only response was a doubtful look. Because privacy only exists for me to utterly demolish it. Minorikawa finishes with a prideful grin. That's nothing but journalistic arrogance, the man railed. Oh yeah? Yeah, I'd rather have surveillance cameras any day if the alternative is some weird gossip piece. This time Minorikawa didn't have a handy retort. An awkward silence descended over the pair. Right, I see. Minorikawa muttered to himself as he busily scribbled in his notepad. The man was visibly taken aback. Thank you for your cooperation, Minorikawa said at last. You gave me some good stuff. He held up a hand to forestall an angry retort. I realize I probably got you a bit riled up. You'll have to forgive me. What? The man peered up at Minorikawa in disbelief. This is just my interview style. Sorry, I know it's a little unorthodox. Buddy, you're a weirdo, you know that? The man said. Yeah, I hear that a lot, Minorikawa laughed. So can I go now? Sure, I'll quote you as passerby in my article. Sure, whatever, the man muttered. He quickly sped off on his bicycle. Minorikawa now had some material for his surveillance camera piece. He wanted to organize what he managed to put together so far. He decided to head toward his next interview location, keep an eye out for a cafe. So you're the one. Where he could stop to work on his copy. He used the map included in the project proposal to guide him. It was hard to read the words and make out the details, but it looked like the Nokani building where the burning Hammer demo was being held was just down Center Guy. There was no indication of which floor the event would be held on, however. That made him a little anxious, but he'd probably be able to find someone to point him in the right direction once he got to the building. Oh boy, he spotted a cafe up ahead. Coffee, please, he shouted as he strode inside. He slumped down in an open chair. Hopefully he'd be able to hold up in here until 1 o'clock working on his article. If he couldn't have it done by then, finishing the whole issue by the end of the day would be a tall order. He pulled the cigarette from his overcoat as he waited for his computer to boot up. Having a smoke was Minorikawa's little trigger for going into writing mode. Instead of being in the mood to write some text, as Minorikawa goes about his job, he switches between writing mode, interview mode, food mode, and sleep mode. When busy, he'll sometimes go into writing mode and food mode at the same time, sometimes even straying into sleep mode in the midst of food mode. When he's even busier, he'll even write mid-interview while nodding off. This is known as ultimate mode. He stuck the cigarette in his mouth and lit it up. The first heavy draw of smoke, he felt his mind focus. The rough idea for his article came to his head nearly fully formed. All he needed to do now was get it all written down. Finally, his laptop finished booting up. Took you long enough, pal, he muttered to the computer. His hands leapt to the keyboard like a predator pouncing on his prey. In a matter of moments, he had hit his stride. His fingers clicked away. One by one, lines of text filled up his screen. The waitress stepped up beside him. Excuse me, sir? But Minorikawa was in writing mode. He didn't even hear her. Sir? Sir, I beg your pardon? Again, Minorikawa stepped to the waitress' attempts to get his attention. Sir, excuse me! The waitress smacked the table. Quiet! Minorikawa snapped. He slammed the table right back. Don't interrupt me when I'm working. Not if you know what's good for you. The waitress didn't so much as flinch. She leaned in aggressively, getting right in Minorikawa's face. Sir, I hate to bother you, but I have to ask you to please refrain from smoking. Minorikawa blinked, huh? This is a non-smoking establishment, sir. No smoking, Minorikawa asked. Cigarette popped in his mouth as he spoke. The waitress pointed sharply to the sign on the wall. The words no smoking were spelled out clear as day. We ask that patrons please not smoke so that other customers can fully enjoy the aroma of their coffee. The waitress drew herself up in arrogant triumph. The woman sitting at the table next made a face as she tried to fan the smoke away with her hands. Customers all around the shop were glaring at him. Wah, wah, wah. You guys don't know the first thing about the aroma of coffee? Minorikawa scoffed. The scent of coffee only surely comes to life amidst the choking stench of tobacco smoke. The waitress's only response was to jab her finger again. But this time she didn't point at the sign, she pointed to the door. Sir, if you're going to smoke, please take it outside. Sometime later, sitting inside the Café La Trek, Minorikawa lit up his third cigarette. At last, a safe refuge. It had taken him quite some time to find a place that allowed smoking after he got kicked out of the first cafe. In recent years, many cafes and restaurants have phased out the concept of the smoking section in favor of prohibiting smoking across the board. This makes a place like La Trek especially important to smokers. There are large vents in the ceiling and to help keep the interior more agreeable for those who do not smoke. Now he was in the rush to make up for lost time. His fingers flew over the keyboard at lightning speed. The more he wrote, the harder he focused. At this rate, he'd have the story wrapped up in no time. Today, you hear me? A voice intruded suddenly on his awareness. One of the other customers was shouting. You're breaking up with that fellow today? Minorikawa's fingers drifted to a halt. He looked around to see where the voice had come from. An older man, red in the face, was shouting at the young woman who sat across from him. "Please, Dad," the woman pleaded. "Stop! You're making a scene." Father and daughter then. It was rare nowadays to see a father behave so imperiously toward his own daughter. Just how sheltered had he been trying to keep her. Minorikawa couldn't see her face from where he was sitting, but his interest was piqued. Should he move to another seat where he could take a look? No, he reminded himself that he needed to finish this article. Finish the article, dude. Besides, if this young lady looked anything like her father, he'd just as soon pass. Minorikawa went back to his typing. It took a few minutes to reestablish his writing groove, with the two still bickering across the room. So now... Kano should be good, but thankfully he soon regained his focus. What's that? A strange beeping sound broke Minorikawa out of his writing reverie. Upon looking up and confusion, he found his attention drawn to a young woman at another table. And then one of these, and one of these. Oh, and this, and this, and this, and this, and that too. She finishes with a broad grin. Yeah, I figured. Let me just repeat your order back to you. 1 Japanese-style beef patty, 1 spicy fish roast spaghetti, 1 chicken casserole, 1 French onion soup, 1 fruit parfait. Holy crap, how much is it? 1 chocolate parfait. And 1 deluxe chocolate parfait. Will that be all? The waitress anxiously awaited confirmation. Ryoko Kakinuma, a second-year student at Minorikawa Academy's law school. She was hassled by a pair of hustlers on her way to work and showed up 5 minutes late for her shift. The manager told her that those 5 minutes were coming out of her pay, so she's a bit irritated right now. Ugh. 5 minutes. It's just 5 minutes, my gosh. And forgot the large caramel shake? The customer was a full-figured young woman and scones at a nearby table. Oh, my apologies. The waitress quickly jotted down the addition to the order. "That'll do it for now," the young woman said. "For now?" Yikes. She's actually planning on ordering more after that? Marveling at the display of appetite, Minorikawa went back to typing. I feel bad for Toyama now. Now what? You heard the strange beeping sound again, subtly differently than the first time. And this time it was closer. Seriously, what the heck was that? I need to get to the bottom of this or I'll never be able to concentrate. Well, never mind. I need to focus on finishing this article. I do want to know. Because there might be something bad. What article? Minorikawa immersed himself in his writing again. Before long, he stopped worrying about the curious sound. Anybody die? Another bread end? Oh my god. The plump young woman set about devouring all the food she'd ordered despite the strange looks she was getting. Now that was an appetite to be reckoned with. It took her under 3 minutes to polish off the lot. Then, looking not the least bit sated, she picked the menu right back up. Was she seriously going to order more? Minorikawa was starting to take an interest in this young lady. There might be a story here. He conjured up a series of headlines in his mind. Woman inhales 30,000 calories in 3 minutes. It's equivalent of 100 pieces of shortcake, 300 glasses of milk, or enough steak and rice to feed about 30 people. Sheesh. No, he needed something with more punch. Food for thought, an expose on obesity. No, that was no good. He wasn't writing for a fashion mag here. A gourmet day in Shibuya. Yeah, that works. That was it. He'd be able to whip something up if he went with the foodie angle. Minorikawa got up from his seat. "That's pretty impressive," he said to the angry diner. "Do you always eat that much?" The young woman glared back at him. "Not always," she said. Suddenly tension filled the air. Oops, was that way too blunt for me? I mean, she's a young lady after all. Maybe I should change up my approach. "Who the heck are you anyway?" the woman asked. "I'm a freelancer writer. I was hoping I could do an interview with you real quick." "You wanted to interview me?" Suspicion was plain on her face. I mean, girls all over the world worry about their diets, right? I hear that, yeah? So would you be willing to share your secret of your technique or whatever for how to eat without getting fat? What, me? Sure, I mean, look at the figure you're maintaining despite eating all this food. The young woman's expression brightened up. "Oh, you notice. There's actually a lot that goes into all this. Yeah? The basic thing, though, is to eat 10 meals a day. 10 meals? I can't even eat 2. Minorikawa struggled to keep his jaw from dropping. 10 meals a day? She flashed him a chubby-cheeked grin. "Hey, you don't know how diets work, do ya?" She chuckled. "Eating only 1 or 2 meals a day? That's what'll make you fat. You gotta space your food out into smaller portions throughout the day." that's the fundamentals of dieting right there. Right, but what happened to the smaller portions part? Minorikawa had to bite his tongue. I see, he said. Any other pro-dieting tips you could share? Well, for the basics, I say always drink protein instead of tea, yeah? Drink protein all day? Seriously? Once again, it took all of Minorikawa's willpower to keep his thoughts to himself. Let's see what else. Oh, there's this stuff called Burning Hammer too, but she trailed off with a little wince. Wait, Minorikawa pricked up. Did you say Burning Hammer? Oh, you know it? I've heard of it anyway, Minorikawa replied. He decided he was better off keeping his plans to head to the sales demo secret. There's a sales demo later on if you're interested, the woman said as if she were reading his thoughts. Though, full disclosure, I'm working for them right now. She handed Minorikawa an advertising pamphlet. There was a more detailed map for the venue included. Very detailed. What a stroke of luck. Now he didn't need to rely on the crummy map in the project proposal anymore. He'd have no trouble finding the venue with the building's various floors are broken down for him. And actually, I gotta get back to work, the woman said. Sure, thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna hang back and finish up my copy here. The woman left the cafe and Minorikawa went back to his laptop. She paid for the meal? He'd gotten some new info on Burning Hammer sales demo, but he'd also lost some more time. The surveillance camera piece still wasn't finished. It was going to be a near thing to get it done before the sales demo started. And instead of returning to his writing, he got out his cell phone. What if Toyama had gotten another of his crazy ideas? If he tried to hang himself again? The thought had Minorikawa too worried to work on his copy. The phone rang several times before someone picked up. Mr. Toyama, where are you right now? Minorikawa asked. Right now? I'm on the run, somewhere near Shoto. An obscure residential district despite being smack dab in the middle of the city. It's a quiet neighborhood rife with greenery. The residence of the former governor of Tokyo is here, built on a massive 2,200 square meter plot of land. There's a shady hotel district a short walk to the south, maybe for quite the juxtaposition. Toyama was speaking in an oddly hushed tone. Shoto? After you left the office, some guys came by to collect on my debt, so I made a run for it. Okay, so he wasn't dead, but the situation was still pretty bad. Look, we'll get you through this somehow, Minorikawa said, hoping it was true. Just keep your head down and stay out of trouble. Stay where you are now. You need to get back to the office. Ooh, keep your head down. Just keep your head down and stay out of the trouble. Stay where you are now. Stay where I am? But what am I supposed to do? Toyama's voice dropped in and out. It sounded like he was moving quickly. Find some place to hide and just lay low for a while, Minorikawa told him. All right, Toyama said weakly. He hung up. Minorikawa let out a deep sigh, then turned back to his laptop. The right choice. Oh no, keep up. Alright. I guess I'm stuck knowing if I made the bad choice or not. Well,